All right. Well, welcome, guys. It is April 16th. My name's Casey. I'm your host. And I think I know the majority of you guys on here, but I've been building Isogenics now for 6 years. And I've always resisted scheduling, planning, anything like of habits I guess I don't know if I've just operated in chaos or good at multitasking or just always getting it done. But I've been working with a coach, Brandon Barber, and if those of you who know Rhonda Collier, who shared, she's been on our call before, and she's just, if you guys hadn't seen that call, definitely go back and check it out, because Rhonda just really, over the past few years, she just went up, and she set it like 5 cycles for like 4 years, and then she just went bam, and now top 20 income earners, and she maxed at her business center. She's driving forward her first one. Her body, she looks better than ever. It's just every single time I see her, she looks better. She's happier. She's glowing. And I was like, dude, what's up? Like, how you just shot up? And she's like, dude, I've been coaching with this guy, da, da, da. So needless to say, I've been testing him out, and amazing. And I have been applying what he calls power sessions. And so I am going to share that with you guys tonight. And hopefully, because all I know is if it's something that makes me excited and has to do with organization and a planner and scheduling, then it's just gotta be something for somebody out there with it. So Isogenics has the Harvest Thins that came out. So that is the equivalent of the dairy free version of our whey thins. So another dairy free product. I know with Peta Kelly being married to Eric, there will be tons of dairy free options. So that's exciting to be in that market, right? It's massive, and it's just growing too. And so that we have those solutions to offer for people. So that's super exciting. So I don't know as far as if you guys ever felt overwhelmed or don't know where to start. And it's because I'm always worried, what should I be doing? I feel like I should be doing more. It's even when I'm in relaxing, a lot of times I don't allow myself to relax because I'm worried about what I should be doing or thinking about business or what's up. And so really the whole idea of scheduling can actually set you free. And I thought of scheduling as something that was gonna restrict me. But what I have found is that it allows me to be in moments of down when I'm in moments of downtime. It allows me, if I'm trying to be present with my husband and spend time with him, I'm present with him. And there's this whole thing, it's called intentional deficit disorder, right? So not attention deficit disorder, it's intentional deficit disorder that's taking place, where we're not really intentional with our laser focus. I'm not going to do it this week because I want to do it again, but I'm going to, even next week, I'll take you guys through a practice where it shows the power, what's happening when you're multitasking. Oftentimes the brain, when they're looking at studies of multitasking, has some of the same effects that heroin has. And we pride ourselves on being multitaskers, right? What's the first thing that we'll put on a resume? Excels at multitasking, able to handle all that. And so it lessens your focus on something, and it takes you out of the present moment and really being able to be an inspired action. And the amount of time that you lose, the average person is looking at their phone 120 to 150 times a day, of it not being, again, intentional with it. It's just, scrolling, checking, or if, you're saying, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do my IPAs, the 400 interruptions, are coming through, and the average interruption is about, 5 minutes. And so you think about just all that time that we're taking away from being productive. And if you're somebody and you have a job, you have kids, you have a life, and you're building an Isogenics business, I think that this is really something that is going to impact your life. So if you had, the whole idea of a power session once a week too. So it's not every day. It's not, oh my gosh, I have to do this session every single day. It's 30 minutes a week. That is what a planning session to get into your power sessions are. And so if you think, okay, he does recommend for it to be a consistent on the same day, because what you're going to use your power session for is a brain dump. If you have problems falling asleep, or you're constantly going, or perfectionism, brain dumping is very nice. Some people are doing brain dumps multiple times throughout the day just to get it out, because your brain is trying to keep track of everything for you. But when you put it down and you put it out, it releases it for it, so you're not constantly in this recycle mode. And so if you can think about, okay, what do I need to do? So it's your task list, right? Some people checklist, task list, need to email this person, follow up with this person, call this person back, be in this group. What are those things that are just constantly kind of nagging you, or, oh, I should have done that, or should have done that? That's a brain dump that you can do before you start kind of your planning session that's going to happen 30 minutes for 1 day a week. So mine is on Mondays, and you do want to find a consistent time. So doing something if you're not going to be, if Sunday is your family time and that's some time that you're unplugged, don't make it be an unrealistic or something that you're not going to be able to pick a time that you can be consistent with it, and that you are going to plan your burst of productivity. I put an article in the groups the other day about 55 minutes, and where the 8-hour work week is a thing of the past. That your brain is not meant to function that way, and that your productivity will skyrocket if you work in short little bursts. And so if you're really thinking about, okay, what is a 55-minute burst? About 2 to 3 times a week is what we're looking. Maybe yours is going to be 15 minutes. Maybe yours is going to be 30 minutes. I don't know what it is for you. But so I just want, that's kind of the idea behind the planning session. So I would like everybody just right now thinking about things that you need to do, just brain dump. Just start writing, we all have tasks, you got kids, animals to the vet. What is it that you need to brain dump that just you need to do? What are the busy things? What are the things that you need to do this week? What would you say? If you were just going to be writing things down, and again, it's just brain dumping, so it's not necessarily specific. There's just some things that are on your mind. I need to call so-and-so back, or make a doctor's appointment, or, oh, I need to pay that, dental bill, whatever it is. It's just on the mind that's there. So that's the idea of that. Brain dump. And some people can write for hours. They're just thinking all the things they need to do. Other people, you've already done. All right, now let's just say that you have 1 hour. That's it this week to build your business. That's it. What do you need to do if you just had 1 hour to build this business, knowing the IPAs of Isagenix, and all you have is 1 hour and the things that produce results? What is it that you need to do this week if you just have 1 hour to build this business? So, am I contacting, people? Am I inviting? All right. Now, what if you had just another hour? One more hour? What are some things would it be following up? Is it connecting with people on Facebook? Is it buffer? What is it for you? And then now, if I only had an hour in my personal life, what would I do that's of significance and importance for me this week? Is there anybody I want to spend time with this week? I know for me, I've been reaching out to people that are, in top 20 income earners is where I'm reaching out to people and scheduling call. I'm being intentional about who I want to learn from. And so I'm reaching out to somebody based on certain goals that I have. So that's something if I had, or is it somebody in your family, right? Maybe your kids. He talked about too, where he was he schedules his kids in. He's got 5, and he schedules them in. And somebody said, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible. You have to put your kids down on the schedule. You have to schedule your kids in." And he was like, "I love it." And he's like, "I'm actually present with my kids." And he said, before I was doing this, I was never present with with anybody, because there was always other things going on. He's like, but when it's actually down, and so maybe it's just an intentional 20 minutes a week with their kids. The average person, the statistics that he was giving, it's like you make 2 to 3 minutes of intentional conversation with your spouse, focused, intentional, instead of just like blah, blah, blah. Less than 5 minutes with your kids. Like those are statistics of what, because we are so multitasking and we're just constantly going, we're never in these present focused moments. And so that's the whole idea, to kind of put the most important things down. What do I want to do this week that is going to take care of my body? Work out, yoga, meditate, something like that. What do I want to do in my life that I have been talking about forever, but I'm just not doing it? What do I just really want to do this week? Like, what do you enjoy? Like, what do you have fun with doing? And so all right, so you have your little brain dump that you needed to get out so you could then look at this. And then, so out of those things, like what, top 10 of the things that you wrote down, and then you burst them out. I mean, literally, all of those things can get done. When we think about all the things we have to do, I don't have enough time. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. All these things. When you really get intentional with it, and what I've noticed is that like I have way more time than I thought that I had when I didn't have it in front of me. And because I was doing a little bit here, or I would let interruptions come, or I'd get a text and I was looking at it instead of just doing my follow-ups in just such a laser focused manner, doing my connection in such a laser focus, working on my presentation, everything gets shut down except my presentation. And it's like, I'm flying through it. I'm like, oh my, I've gotten so much accomplished. And it's simply because I'm doing less and more in less time, because I'm not allowing interruptions to flow through. And I can tell you today, and like it was so I just felt so free because my brain is not worrying about what I need to do. Also, if you have multiple calendars, you don't want multiple calendars. You want one thing that you go to. If you're somebody and you're on the go, you want to be looking at possibly learning how to do on your iPhone or your cloud or Google Doc, because if you're somebody always on the go and you don't have your calendar with you, your brain's always going to be wondering what it needs to do when you can just check it like in your power hours. Like that's what it can be for you. So, so again, now out of those top 10 things, then what you do is you go to your calendar and you just plug them in, right? So again, for me, I'm, IPAs, right? You're looking at, again, at the base, how many times has the story been told, right? How many people have I invited to take a look? How many people have I connected with? How many people, have I had in front of a presentation, a tool, and then follow up. And then as we do that more, then we have more people that we, new coaching, cleanser, duplication, all of those things. But it's like, okay, so those are things that I'm like, okay, if I could only do 1 hour, but I've knocked that stuff out of what I thought was like take me 4 hours, or it was taking me 5 hours. I've knocked out in 30 minutes. And I'm like, I'm just like doubling it. It's crazy because I'm being intentional and I'm focused and I'm not letting interruptions come in. Now, of course, interruptions do happen, obviously, if you have kids, a kid comes in, bite their lip, that's a valuable interruption. But like, are we really being intentional about what we consider to be a valuable interruption, or because the phone rings or an email comes in or a text goes through, so we allow ourselves to get out of the zone? And there's something called flow, and it talks about how and again, this is all really about just being able to be present. Like, when we're on a call, like, and we're asking somebody like how isogenics can impact their life, like, are we multitasking and doing multiple things? Or like, do we have just those short little bursts set up, and then where we can really be intentional, even with listening and being in a present moment? Because this whole idea of people who are, these athletes, these adrenaline junkies, right? Jumping out of planes or, surfing these 50-foot waves, and studies are showing in their brain, it's not that they're adrenaline junkies, right? It is that their body releases the perfect amount of endorphins to keep them in a present moment, because their brain, it's like, all right, you have to do this or you're going to die. So you're laser focused in the present moment. And it's like between dopamine, serotonin, that is secreted chemically, that has them in that flow. And then they stay in that flow for a little bit of time after, because they were in such a present moment state. And so if we can be a little bit more present and a little bit more focused in every single area of our life, he said, I promise you, if you have chaos in your life, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you can't get it all done, he said, out of all the years that he's been coaching, and just this couple weeks, like doing this, I'm just like, I just can't believe, I cannot believe that this is just feeling so liberating for me, scheduling things. And it's like, he says, I promise you, it is because this is not being done. Take your planning session, put it down, top 10. And he said, even if you accomplish 75% of that, you're doing more than like what you ever did in your chaos moments. And then in those moments, right? Like then when you're not having the chaos and you're more in the flow and the present, and that's the whole like part of enjoying the journey and the process and really being able to accelerate yourself. So, as somebody who's prided myself on multitasking, on being able to get things done, unorganized and not scheduled, other than just, I'd have a written planner here, but I was always on the go. And so, carrying it around, and it's like, I was afraid to get on and have everything on my MacBook. And, then he talks about too, when you're doing things like that, like based on your goals, obviously is how, but 2 to 3, you guys, I'm just saying 2 to 3, 30 to 55 minute burst of what you can accomplish for your goals, for your dreams. Like it is worth that. And to get clear. And you think about like, we're not going to get in the car and drive all around if we have this destination of somewhere we want to go. Why are we doing that with our lives, with our business, with our relationships, with everything? We're doing it with everything. And we're just in chaos. We're just going circle and circle, round and round and round, because we're not taking the time to plug into the GPS, which is your week, your couple power sessions of being intentional of what you have to do for your life to be where you want it in every area. He's like, what, of course we're getting what we're getting. Of course we're feeling what we're feeling. It's because that's was missed. And so, yes, if you feel chaos or overwhelmment, then power sessions, planning sessions, incorporate them. And if you're somebody and you're like, something that he said on a video, it was about, well, when I look at my bank account, I am not excited, I guess, or there's negative feelings that are associated with it, or something based on what stage maybe you are in your life. And he said, but I can tell you what, when I am doing bursts of productivity like that, when there is that kind of production because I have done those things, the feeling that comes over is, man, it really doesn't matter what my freaking bank account shows, because I've been in such massive productivity that was like laser intentionally focused. And then I still had time to, take care of myself, spend with my family, those things. He was like, it's a game changer. So I hope that you guys got some value or takeaway from that. But again, it's not me teaching it. It's you going and applying it. Right? And because a true power session that you're going to do for yourself will come from that planning session that you do. And it's a good 30 minutes to get, again, really intentional. And some things even popped up for me of things that I haven't been doing for myself that I really enjoy. And so when you're enjoying the journey, you guys, that's the success, and more success just keeps coming. You're feeling good. You're excited to do it, and you're not burnt out. It is our brains are burnt out from multitasking. They cannot keep up. They're trying to do their best with juggling everything. But if we just do a little bit on our end, it can finally relax in peace and brain dump as many times as you need to get it out, to feel like you're in the state of flow in a present moment of being focused on one thing. Years ago, I read a book and it was called The One Thing. And it talked about how the amount of time that we do lose when we are like, not focused on one thing. But there's something to like, you can just practice just being present, like when you're eating, right? Like next time that you're going to eat, just be present with it. And you'll find that you won't even want to overeat. Like if you're really like, not just, instead of just trying to shovel it in, right? Because we're so busy, we just got to get it going. Like sit down, enjoy your shake. Next time you have a meal with your family, just be intentional about enjoying for 20 minutes. Like shut things down, put it away for 20 minutes. I'm just going to be present, with this. For 10 minutes, I'm going to be present with, you know, just reading a book. Like it doesn't, just to get in the habit of it, it doesn't have to be something massive to start building the habit of it. And really, you know, looking at successful people or looking at people that seem to have it all together, like how do they fit it all in? It's like, this is a factor of what they're doing. And so it's that way they can just be in more enjoyable moments because they're not constantly in chaos. So, so there is, LaDonna is on the cruise right now. So super excited. Joe and Shanna. I don't know if I saw you guys are Raylene and Troy. LaDonna's on cruising. So what would you say if Isagenix does another championship? I guess it wouldn't be a championship. If they do another ice derby or goal, is it worth shooting for and putting all the time, energy, and effort in?
Absolutely. Yes, if there's another competition, I am going to be on it. So there's nothing like getting a free cruise. They gave us $1,500 travel cash, lots of goodies. They're totally spoiling us. All kinds of free Isagenix gear to take home. Beach bags, flip-flops, just t-shirts, lots of e-shots. They had a huge welcome reception for us. All the drinks you could drink and all the food you could eat, which I didn't eat a whole lot, but it was there for the people who wanted it. So it's just been an amazing experience. So thank you, Isagenix.
Thank you, Isagenix. Love it, love it, love it. They do. When you do on trip, they do some spoiling. I will say that. Isagenix knows how to spoil you. So, well, I'm sure we have some celebrations. I'll let people do shout out celebrations before I take anybody's. I'm always taking people's celebrations. Does anybody have a celebration that they want to shout out? Well, I will go. So Missy, you did your 5-cycle bonus. That's so exciting. I love 5-cycle bonuses. And then Isaiah, awesome on your first launch party. And it's being in action, you guys. Being in action is so critical to just be doing the do. You know, we have goals and just doing the do and putting it out there. So congrats on doing that. And yeah, that's who I had that one to shout out. Of course, all you cruisers. Does anybody else want to do a shout out for anybody? Peach Mango's out. That's a travesty. And Carrie, I see your message. I'm going to reach out to you. So, all right, guys. Well, ICU is coming up. So I know I will see some of you guys there. So if you're not going, then get on to the live stream and watch that. And if you're not doing that, the UIA in Dallas, if you are an introvert or you are afraid to talk to people, UIA is your event. It is an event that just pulls the greatness out of you and your gifts so that you can help people live their best life, right? And live out of their best body and bigger bank accounts. So that's always exciting. So, all right, guys, I would love some feedback on if you do a planning session and then 2 or 3 power sessions of short burst on what you feel like. I just feel like I literally doubled my time and I'm doubling my results and my productivity. Like it's mind blowing to me. My brain's not comprehending it yet. So, all right. I will see you guys online. Not everyone.